Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 17th of December. So looking at the Eurodollar first, and well, yesterday Euro pushed up again, didn't get anywhere near Friday's highs. In fact, the range was back to its usual very tight ranging self effectively. In fact, it was the smallest day we've had for some time. Now, where to from here then? Well, it does look a little bit soft. I do wonder if it'll roll. It hasn't broken my original trend line I put up there, and but it has the near-term trend line there. Broken the trend line. Ignore that number. But just broken through that trend line and come back and tested it. Now it's really a case of whether it'll continue in this direction. It's sitting around its daily pivot at this stage. Maybe a break below that 34 trigger things off. I do wonder if we'll just end up in chop. It's not really giving me a lot of guidance from here, so chop seems to be the order of the day at the moment. I just brought the news up here, and coming out today from Forex Factory, and there's little and that will affect the euro there. Certainly some stuff, the average earnings, very importantly, employment data coming out this morning for the UK. That's at 9:30. Manufacturing sales may do something this afternoon for the euro, but sorry, that's Canadian. Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong one even. Canadian data. So nothing there to actually affect the euro that much at all. So could, as I say, well, end up in a bit of a choppy old day. If we can get any sort of movement, it starts pushing up, or maybe the R1, but it's just as easy to go to the S1. It's really choppy at this stage. So not giving its clues away, even on the bigger time frames. Well, yes, it was bullish, and maybe you just take the bullish side of it, breaks the upper side there, play it back towards those prior highs, the R1 area. Okay, let's have a look at the pound. I did a special video on the pound yesterday afternoon, last night time. It's on our site. It's well worth a watch. When I question this, I mean, part of the point is that after the exit polls came out on Thursday evening at 10 o'clock, we never broke the highs of that, even when the news was actually confirmed. So it was certainly a case of sell on the news there effectively. Eventually it popped, and it's dropping at the moment. And there is obviously the unknown, so I'm not going to go into that in a lot of detail. It's on the other video, but we've put a lower high here on the 4 hourlies. It's broken down now. In the shorter term, maybe, yes, it's got a daily pivot above there. It may push back towards that, but looking soft. Yesterday it tried its best to push back up in early morning there. It sort of had a half decent rally that looked like it could have done something more maybe, but with the lower highs in here, it looks soft. Any retracement may just provide a point of sell at this stage, so certainly the unknown. It could well come right the way back to pre-voting sort of levels and beyond. So looking maybe to sell into retracements on the pound there. Dollar yen, just looking at this at stage here, and well, it's the yen looks like it's softened up again. As I said, there's yesterday, it's a bit of a risk. Risk is back on into the market, so riskier trades being taken, and the yen was a safety point. Now, I mean, undoubtedly, you look through this as the bigger view is this is just trending up to the upside here. You look at it on the 4 hourlies, well. Had a bit of softening around the prior highs. That's not unusual. Maybe it will break through this time and push on. We'll see. It has got an untouched weekly pivot, so any sort of breakdown, any fear that sort of comes into the market may see that as a target. But for now, well, it's air-kissed its daily pivot there, just on the turn of the day. Maybe it will come back and touch that again. Not the clearest. I mean, yesterday we saw it. I was watching it quite closely to see what it did. Didn't even come back and touch its daily pivot. It was so close to it. and we're not talking many pips away, so it's a drifting long, I would suggest. Maybe you've got some more upside, more of a swing trade. Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar, the Aussie dollar as it sits at the moment, yesterday really just an inside day. Today it's already broken the lows of both those previous days there, and looking a bit soft, so a bit of dollar strength coming through. And again, lower high, so very similar picture to the pound in that respect. Just sitting on its 4 hourly 50 at this stage. It has broken that before. This is a sort of a retest, although it broke and it went underneath, so it's a new touch in a sense, technically. Where to? Well, I won't be surprised if we don't see a bit of a consolidation, maybe even a run back towards its 21.50, and maybe that'll give opportunities for short sellers. Canadian dollars benefited from the price of oil pushing up. It moved down quite considerably. It was obviously looking a bit of fibs when I was looking at it recently. There we go, let's take that off. It's benefited from the stronger price of oil. It's at this stage just marching back towards its weekly 50 now. The way the Canadian dollar works, I won't guarantee that's going to push back up there, although the probability is very good at hitting it, not necessarily immediately. Just got to be a bit wary of this move. But as we look at this stage, well, it does look good for it. It may be a sell point at that level, but overall I'm quite bearish on the Canadian dollar. I can't move away from my bearish stance on it. However, it's benefiting, as I say, from the price of oil at this stage. Okay, and in fact, let's just have a quick look at oil on the same time frame as we look at it. I don't intraday trade the Canadian dollar. I've said that some time. I think a lot of people lose a lot of money on it, and it's just one of those currencies that can just switch around. Now, price of oil is pushing up pretty well there, so that will have a benefit to, provide benefit to the Canadian dollar there. But it's still making new high or near-term highs. This is softened up over that period, so they do get disentangled a little bit. And it was actually pointed out to me yesterday that whilst the $60 is the barrel price per barrel that's provided for oil, in most places around $60-ish. There's only $40 a barrel for a lot of Canadian oil, particularly tar sands, because it's a richer bitumen, so it's not crude as we know it. So there we are. Okay, that's the Canadian dollar. And New Zealand dollar, well, no surprise to see a bit of a pullback here, but it's holding on pretty well. Thursday still was the best day. Thursday? Friday was the best day there. It pitched up on. It's sitting around its monthly R3, and it's always a point of resistance. It may just hold this for a while. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see some consolidation. It had such a sort of a move up at the beginning of the month there. So often, and it's had a decent run. I wouldn't be surprised to say a bit of consolidation, even maybe a bit more of a retracement. Hasn't even caught its weekly pivot yet, and it's been dulling around it for ages, so maybe that will come back, maybe even back to the 50. Air kissed the 50 back here, so it's coming short of some of these. Even didn't quite catch the weekly pivot last week. Okay, so put more positivity anyway expected there, but as we move towards Christmas, I would imagine a lot of these currencies, they'll just be positioning, the bigger funds may just position themselves carefully. Just a reminder then of key news out today then, things to watch for now. 9:30, the employment data, if you're looking at the pound, watch out for this, particularly average earnings. Average earnings is highlighted on here, but just watch all the numbers. But this has been declining, and this is a problem because this puts more pressure on Thursday's meeting with the central bank. The Bank of England. Okay, beyond that, manufacturing sales Canada, if you're watching the Canadian dollar, just watch for that. But building permits, not very much. I won't bother with the US on that one. And Carney speaking at 7:15 today, this evening, due to deliver brief remarks at ECB farewell board. There we go. That's it. Have a great one. Bye for now.